Hello, you gruesome bastards, and welcome to your eternal suffering. I mean my so-called show. What is it that makes a character so scary? A horrifying appearance? The urge to stalk and kill you? Well, yes, but there is more to what makes a character scary. Which gave me the idea to showcase my 10 favourite scary characters. And just to let you know, I won't be including characters from books, just movies, TV shows and games. Any characters based off books will be judged specifically on their interpretation, depending on the movie, TV show or game. And as for guys like Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers, The Predator, I'll get to them one day. But for now, these are just my personal favourites. And believe me, there is more, which I will save for another time. So zombie ladies and hairy gentlemen, sit back, strap on your adult nappies, and relax as I take you through Northern English Bastards, Scary Bastards. Well, Tenant.
I'll be back.
It was a role that made Arnold Schwarzenegger the ultimate movie star. It's the Terminator. Sent back from the future in order to kill Sarah Connor, the mother of the human resistance leader, John Connor, before he's even conceived. The Terminator is a machine disguised as a human with only one motivation, the mission, and he will kill anyone who stands in his way. And what makes him so chilling is, even though he looks human, his lifeless expression can't hide the emotionless machine that hides within. As his mission to hunt Sarah Connor continues, we see his true self revealed more and more, even to the point where he's exposed. But still, that doesn't stop him. Nowhere is safe when this hulking dealer of death comes to visit. Except terrible sequels. Even a station full of heavily armed police officers were no match for him. He never eats, he never sleeps, he causes destruction wherever he walks, and he has no ambitions except to do what he's programmed to do. Kill, without prejudice or bias. He can't be bargained with, he can't be reasoned with, and he will not stop ever until you are terminated.
Your clothes. Give them to me, now.
Fuck you, asshole!
Played by Robert Patrick, the T-1000 is more dangerous, more advanced and more resilient in comparison to the original Terminator. Just like Arnie in the first movie, he's dedicated to the mission, which this time means killing John Connor as a child. And what the T-1000 lacks in size and muscle mass, he more than makes up for in his abilities. He's stronger, tougher, and unlike the original Terminator, that was a machine underneath, he's liquid metal that can mimic anyone, absorb more damage and even form limbs into sharp objects, making him a walking weapon. Even able to pass more as human than Arnie, laying on a little bit of charm before reverting to his true self. I like the fact he constantly looks like a cop, using the image of good to disguise his lack of humanity. What makes him a threat is, this time, it's a kid he's sent to kill. Yeah, a grown woman being hunted can be intense, but kids are more vulnerable. Yes, John Connor is smart, he's tough, but he's still a kid.
And there's nothing more scarier than being a kid targeted by a killer who won't stop no matter what. He may look like the man of the law, but the only law that applies to him is the law of termination.
There you are. I've been looking all over for you.
Played by the sexy Claire Kramer, Glory is the fourth in a long line of big bads in the Buffy TV series. Glory, also known as Glorificus, is a spoilt, pampered, valley girl type with a penchant for violence and destruction. Oh, and she's also a goddess. So basically, Meghan Markle if she was made immortal. And that is scary. Buy her shoes that don't match her dress, you're fucked. Even Buffy fucking ran from her, she was that unstoppable. She's as destructive as she is arousing. Even when she talks like a total bimbo, she manages to be bloody intimidating.
Wait, I've always wanted to try this. You know that thing with worms? Where if you have one, you rip it in half, you get 2 worms? Do you think that'll work with you?
But that's Glory, and if you don't worship her, tell her she looks great in everything, or tell her that she's prettier than the other girls, and still haven't managed to find that bloody key, your ass is grass.
Because I'm tired of these games. I need time, I need a drink. You're a very needy little bloodsucker, and it's not very attractive.
And there's nothing scarier than a spoiled, psychopathic, invincible, vain goddess with the power to crush your skull with one hand. She's gorgeous, dangerous, and she could suck my mind dry anytime.
And I'll kill her. I'll kill your mom. I'll kill your friends. And I'll make you watch when I do.
Fresh meat.
No kid wants to go to school, and for various reasons. School bullies, tedious lessons, but nothing makes every day at school a living hell the way Miss Trunchbull does. Played by a mountain like Pam Ferris, Miss Trunchbull is the school principal from hell, with her hulking figure, inhuman strength, and questionable hatred towards children, and any childlike optimism.
Put away the art projects. Put away anything colourful.
She's definitely not one to mess with, like this scene where she spots one of the students with pigtails.
Good loss! Excellent release!
Or others that eat her cake.
She made this cake just for you to have on your very own. Her sweat and blood went into this cake, and you will not leave this platform until you have consumed the entire confection! Entire confection. See you at lunch. Thank you, Cookie.
Her methods of discipline are incredibly psychotic. Fuck about in her presence. She doesn't just put you in the corner, she puts you in the chokey.
Chokey? Yeah, the chokey. It's a tall, narrow hole in a wall behind a door. You have to stand in a drippy pipe with jagged edges, and the walls have broken glass and nails sticking
Get
out.
inside, you festering ball of pus!
She puts kids in there? I've been in twice. Sometimes she leaves you in there all day.
Chew candy or sweets in her class, she'll throw you out of the window.
Was Julius okay? After being thrown out the window? Of course he wasn't okay. He lived, if that's what you mean.
There's even hints that she may have actually murdered someone. This woman is one crazy bitch with an unnatural hatred towards children, to the point of comparing them to the mafia, even deranged enough to claiming she never was a child. What the fuck is this psycho bitch on? What else can I say? She's mean, narcissistic, delusional, psychotic, powerful, revolting, and gives a whole new meaning to the school of hard knocks.
Much too good for children.
Let me understand this, because maybe it's me, I'm a little fucked up, maybe. But I'm funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown, I amuse you. I make you laugh. I'm here to fucking amuse you. What do you mean funny? Funny how? How am I funny?
Played by Joe Pesci, Tommy D Vito is one psychotic fucker, happy to be your best friend one minute and happy to kill you for any reason the next. Every time he's on screen, you know he's gonna snap. He doesn't care if you're a friend or a foe. To him, anyone is expendable. And the craziest thing is, the real life guy was much crazier. He also shows hints of insecurity, even to the point of killing the guy he bullied for standing up to him.
Even though you got that, you could dance, huh? Give us a couple of fucking steps here, Spider. You fucking bullshitter, you. Tell the truth, you're looking for sympathy. Is that it, sweetie?
Why don't you go fuck yourself, Tommy?
Fucking you're right. I don't believe what I just heard. Hey, Spider, here.
Tom, you gonna let him get away with that? You gonna let this fucking punk get away with that? What's the matter?
What's the world coming to?
What the fucking world is coming to? How do you like that?
And the crazy thing is, he does seem like a good laugh.
So now I'm coming around, you know. I start to come out of it. Who do I see in front of me? This big prick again. He says, "Oh, what do you want to tell me now, tough guy?" I said, "Ming, what are you doing here? I thought I'd tell you to go fuck your mother."
Right up until you say the wrong thing.
What do you mean I'm funny?
It's funny, you know. It's a good story. It's funny. You're a funny guy.
What do you mean? You mean the way I talk? What?
It's just, you know, you're just funny. It's funny, you know, the way you tell the story and everything.
Funny how? I mean, what's funny about it?
And to think this character is played by the same actor who, within the same year, starred in this. It truly shows the amount of range Joe Pesci has as an actor. Tommy's not even doing it for moral reasons or any grand plans. He's just a wild, violent arsehole who enjoys what he's doing, hanging out with friends, dressing sharp, dining at expensive restaurants with gorgeous women, and most of all, killing. Don't let the fancy clothes fool you. The last thing this guy is a good fella.
How do I know? You said I'm funny. How the fuck am I funny? What the fuck is so funny about me? Tell me. Tell me what's funny.
Get the fuck out of here, Tommy.
You motherfucker! I almost had him!
Who's there? Come out!
Hello? We just want to talk.
Any sudden moves and I put one right between your eyes. Ditto for buddy boy over there. What do you want?
Name's David.
Yes, even voice actors in video games can leave an impression, and David from The Last of Us is no exception. Voiced by Nolan North, the same legend who did Nathan Drake and many more. David is the leader of an army of hunters, a large group of people who are willing to kill anyone and anything and do anything to survive in a world gone to hell. After the main character Joel is critically injured protecting Ellie, Ellie is forced to fend for herself, and after tracking down a buck she hunted, she meets David. While suspicious of him, circumstances force them to work together.
You had another gun?
Sorry. Hey, I'd really like my rifle back now.
No, you have your pistol.
Hope you know how to use that thing.
I've had some practice.
Right up until he tells her this little bombshell.
I sent a group of men out to a nearby town to look for food. Only a few came back. They said that the others had been slaughtered by a crazy man. And get this, he's a crazy man traveling with a little girl.
At first, David genuinely seems like a good man you can trust. He's polite, kind, and he seems very sincere. He's also very approachable and is willing to be there for you in your hour of need. But he's also a cannibal who's willing to kill you if you go against him. And when Ellie politely turns him down,
Tell him that Ellie is the little girl that broke your fucking finger!
he goes from kind-hearted to bloodthirsty.
How did you put it? Tiny pieces. See you in the morning, Ellie.
David may have only been in the game for a short stint, but that hasn't stopped him from being memorable. He could have been just another psycho, but no. Nolan North was smart enough to portray him as humble as possible, and when he's on screen, you do want to trust him. You almost want to join his brigade. And even with less than a few words of dialogue, you can still sense there was a good man who tried to maintain his soul in a world that burned, only to end up in a situation where he was forced to do the most reprehensible things he could never come back from. At least that's the idea I got from the collectibles I grabbed playing the game. Joel was the same, but David went further. David is Joel if he went down the darker path. David is us, the part of us we are hoping never to become if the situation ever crops up, the part of us we refuse to believe exists. And that is what makes him so scary. He's not a runner, a clicker, or a bloater, or Abby. Actually, Abby's much worse. He's just a man who's crossed that line never to come back from, in a world infected not just by a virus, but the evil that men like him are capable of.
You see, everything happens for a reason.
We've only just started, just opened the door. Look, now's the time to go through that door and find what lies beyond it. But don't you see, Paul? We've discovered the source of life itself, and we've used it to restore a creature that was dead.
Played by the late Peter Cushing, the Hammer version of Victor Frankenstein is a much more darker, more violent version of Mary Shelley's Mad Scientist, while in other versions he was an obsessive madman who eventually saw the consequences of his obsession and redeemed himself. Here, he's a downright bastard. After an experiment to revive a dead puppy proves successful, he becomes obsessed with replicating that success, only this time with a dead human being. And not just revival, but creating the perfect human being altogether. And unlike previous versions of Frankenstein, he doesn't just dig up the already deceased. He is more than happy to kill anyone he deems suitable enough to create that perfect specimen.
If you step back a little, you'll see better. Look out, Professor, look out!
He's a pompous, snobby, obsessive psychopath who sees anyone below him as disposable. He cheats on his fiancée, who's also his cousin, by the way. He even sneers at his maid he's having an affair with when she opens up to him.
You stupid little fool. Did you really think that I'd marry you?
You're hurting.
Get back to your work.
But you've got to marry me. You've got to. I'm going to have a child.
Since when is this?
It doesn't matter. It's true, that's all.
Why choose me as the father? Pick any man in the village. The chances are to be the right one.
What a wanker.
And when she threatens to blackmail him, well, thankfully things get resolved his way.
Pass the marmalade, will you, Miss Winter? Thank you.
It's a moment that's hilarious as it is chilling. The man has no empathy, no hint of remorse, and no matter how many times his creature becomes more deformed and defected, he never gives up pursuing the lunacy that drives him. Charming, articulate, brilliant, and determined to sacrifice as many lives in order to fulfill his idea of the greatest achievement in the name of science, Peter Cushing showed he is the true Frankenstein monster.
I'm worried about just
You know, it's a week since she went away, and we still have no word from her.
I've told you not to worry. I expect some village Lothario eloped with her. She always was a romantic little thing.
He's an asshole.
I'm your #1 fan. There is nothing to worry about. You're gonna be just fine. I'll take good care of you. I'm your #1 fan.
Played by the always reliable Kathy Bates, Annie is the #1 fan from hell. When she rescues her favourite author Paul Sheldon, played by the late James Caan, she's ecstatic. But when she finds out who's about to kill off her favourite character Misery, she handles it very well.
I don't want her, bitch! I want her! And you murdered her!
And unless he rewrites the next Misery novel with a more suitable ending, he may not survive her hospitality. Man, has Bates ever been better as the obsessive psychotic nurse? The way she sells both the maternal nature and the irrational psychotic nutjob. And yet Sheldon still needs her to help him recover, while also being a genuine threat to his life. And when Sheldon is discovered trying to escape, Annie, once again, takes it really well.
Shh, darling. Trust me.
God's sake.
It's for the best.
Hey, please!
Almost done. Just one more. God, I love you.
Jesus. Is this bitch for real? She abhors profanity.
In the bank, do I tell Mrs. Bollinger, oh, here's one big bastard of a check. Give me some of your Christing money?
Uses phrases and expressions that no one uses.
You dirty bird.
Well, I'll get your stupid paper, but you just better start showing me a little more appreciation around here, Mr. Man.
And seems to have this idea that she is the sane one in a world full of ungrateful brats.
What's the matter? I'll tell you what's the matter. I go out of my way for you. I do everything to try and make you happy. I feed you, I clean you, I dress you, and what thanks do I get? Oh, you bought the wrong paper, Annie. I can't write on this paper, Annie.
She always comes across as someone who was treated badly as a child, whether it's being abused by an overly religious parent or maybe other children due to her looks. Her bad temper may be due to a lot of resentment and insecurities that have plagued her, resulting in her suspected involvement in the infant sad that cost her her job, as well as her unhealthy obsession and dependency on Sheldon's Misery novels. But what's even crazier is the fact that she's pretty convincingly kind and caring. You'd almost be happy to have her help you in your time of dire need. But that's what makes her scarier, because she can flip out at any moment. And the fact that she's cold-hearted enough to inflict excruciating pain on you if you don't show any gratitude doesn't make matters better either. She's the embodiment of every celebrity's nightmare. Obsessive, possessive, irrational, switching from caring to bloodthirsty, and willing to do anything to keep her precious Misery going, including... Annie Wilkes is one batshit nurse whose only idea of bedside manners are pain, and most of all, misery.
He didn't get out of the cock-a-doodie car!
What's the most you ever lost on a coin toss? Sir, the most you ever lost on a coin toss.
Armed with a silent shotgun and a captive bolt stunner, Anton Chigurh is one man not to piss off, no one to underestimate. Played by a never-bettered Javier Bardem, Anton Chigurh is a man who lives by his own code, is never one to compromise, and never to tolerate anyone who doesn't do the same. He's psychotic, remorseless, but yet he's not doing it for the thrill or the kill or the money. He does it because it's his job. When he's given a job, he will do it, and also because he believes he has to. It's almost like he feels it's his moral obligation to bring some kind of fucked up philosophical meaning to a life of evil. Like he thinks the world needs people like him the way it needs people to be good as well. We see him kill people who hired him just because they hired others instead of trusting him to do the job, as if they breached some kind of spiritual contract with him.
He gave the Mexicans a receiver.
He felt
that the more people looking...
That's foolish. Be the one right tool.
He even kills the wife of Moss, the man he's pursuing, just because Moss didn't accept his fate, which could have saved her, according to his logic.
You got no cause to hurt me.
No. But I gave my word.
You gave your word?
To your husband.
That don't make sense. You gave your word to my husband to kill me?
Everything he says makes sense, but doesn't make sense. He says it as if he's found some meaning behind his actions. In 2018, there were studies on the character, and according to the studies, he is the most accurate depiction of a psychopath. The character himself is also about the criminal man and whether it's getting worse, or if things always were bad. And if the first theory is the case, then Anton isn't the worst, but a taste of what is yet to come. Do not let that haircut fool you. Anton Chigurh is a coin-flipping, enigmatic killer machine, leaving behind a trail of corpses in a country no longer fit for old men.
You don't have to do this.
People always say the same thing.
I thought my jokes were bad.
He's the agent of chaos, the embodiment of anarchy. He is the Joker. One of the most famous characters in history, the Joker has and always will be one of the most recognisable villains, taking on the persona of a smiling, colourful jokester who sees the joke in everything, especially when it comes to murdering innocent people and causing misery. There have been other actors that have played him in the past, but it's Heath Ledger's take in The Dark Knight that really took the clown Prince of Crime in another direction. Here he's a cackling psychotic nihilist, going out of his way to plunge the city into despair, with the goal of reducing everyone to raving psychotics like him. Why is he scary? Well, just check out this pants-wetting scene.
Are you the real Batman?
No.
No. No. No. Then why do you dress up like him?
He's a symbol. We don't have to be afraid of scum like you.
Yeah, you do, Brian. You really do. Huh? Yeah. Oh, shush, 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 shush. You see, this is how crazy Batman's made Gotham. If you want order in Gotham, Batman must take off his mask and turn himself in. Oh, and every day he doesn't, people will die. Starting tonight. I'm a man of my word.
But it's not just this scene that makes him terrifying, it's the fact that he's always 10 steps ahead, outthinking and outmanoeuvring both Batman and the police force. And he's willing to prove that anyone can be just as despicable as he is if pushed far enough, whether it's through manipulation, misdirection, terrorism, even forcing people to kill others to save their own hide in order to achieve his goal. He lies about his backstory, further adding to the mystery of who he is, who he was, and how he even became the way he is. He's not out for world domination, but he is out for world destruction, even willing to die in the hopes it will help his cause. And that's what makes his character truly disturbing. He doesn't want money, power, neither does he want to win, but for everyone to lose. It's a role that really showed Heath Ledger's range as an actor. The man practically locked himself in a hotel for months to do extensive research in order to get into character, which sadly took a toll on his mental state, leading him to take sleeping pills, which resulted in his untimely death at 28. A sad loss to the world, but that doesn't take away the intensity of his performance. It's a dark, disturbing, charismatic performance, the ultimate violent punchline to the greatest joke of all, the killing joke.
I'm gonna make this pencil disappear.
It's
gone. So that was week 4 of our spooky season, which leaves me with one question for you unfortunate victims. Which fictional character haunts your waking days? Feel free to comment below, and I'll try my best not to use that information to exploit your mental state as well as your soul. Though I can't and won't make promises.